Recording in progress.
What up? What's good, family? I'm Trey, Fraser. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me.
Yep.
Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Special shout out to all of our Facebook Live viewers right now. Make sure y'all continue to click that like button on the Facebook page. Also, y'all can check us out on the YouTube channel and on our Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, followed by our Twitter handle at Barbershop SPOR2. Maestro, it's another week, man. What's good, man? How we feeling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I want to send a personal apology to Bobby Wagner of the I think it's the New York Mets. I think it is. Is it the Mets? I don't know who I've been tweeting for a week.
I
Talking
thought
about
you were
come to
talking about the
Pittsburgh.
football player.
Nah, it's apparently there's somebody in baseball. I'll look it up. I'll tell
Okay.
you offline
Uh huh.
apparently I've been tweeting to Bama like at BWags on Twitter like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
come to Pittsburgh. Come on to Pittsburgh. Come on, bro. Let's get it. Let's go. And the Bama tweeted. It wasn't just me, but the Bama was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see where Bobby Wagner goes, so everybody can start tweeting me.
Mm-hmm. Oh snap.
So apparently we've been tweeting. Me and Pittsburgh fans been tweeting the wrong person,
Oh
or
snap.
amongst yeah.
So y'all were tweeting a baseball player,
I
apparently.
believe if I remember looking at it correctly, it was a baseball player with the Mets. But
Okay. Yeah,
I'll admit that I don't remember.
I'm gonna look that up. That's crazy because at first
Yeah,
I thought you were referring to Bobby Wagner, obviously, the former Seattle Seahawk, who I don't understand for the life of me why this dude is still on the street and hasn't been signed to a contract yet. Like this guy could still play, in my opinion.
yeah, sure.
You know, you talking about 8 straight Pro Bowls. You talking about a dude that leads his team in tackles almost every year. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why this dude is on the street. Like even for the teams that are not projected to be good, that got cap space. Hey, you got a linebacker. You know, just floating around waiting to get picked up. But I know he wants to go to a contender. So
Yeah, but I say I would imagine he want to go to a contender. Like he
yeah,
been,
yeah.
he didn't had a little couple. He didn't had a couple of years of purgatory, if you will, because the Seattle Seahawks ain't been going nowhere, and
Right.
he probably got that winning taste, from back back 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I
but
feel
shit,
you on
longer
that.
than that, maybe longer than 7 years.
Almost 9. It's been almost 9 years since
Yeah,
that
almost
Super
10.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for certain. And I don't know what the Ravens are doing. We lost out on Zadarius Smith because I thought they signed him to a contract, and then it turns out he saw what Von Miller was getting, and then he saw what Randy Gregory got from Denver, and was like, "Yo, you
Hmm.
know what? I better go see, what's going on." And props to him because I mean, we're not just talking Von Miller, and I understand Von Miller's a future Hall of Famer, but we're talking about a Von Miller that's not what he once was back, 6, 7 years ago. We're talking about a Von Miller that's kind of, playing a secondary role at this point in his career, getting the money he got from Buffalo. So he saw that and was like, yo, I'm kind of still in my prime-ish. Let me go ahead and see what else is out there. And I give him credit. The Vikings gave him a better deal than we could offer him.
Oh, I didn't know he went to Minnesota.
Yeah, he did. He did. The,
Yeah.
the Vikings signed him. So, props to Zadarius Smith. But damn, I would have loved to get him back. In addition to what we've already done. In this offseason. So, I'm with you. I am on the Bobby Wagner. Let's go. I want the Ravens to sign Bobby Wagner. Like,
Well, I'm cool now. I'll be honest with you. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm not because Bobby Wagner, because not because of his play,
hmm
but we signed Miles Jack, got him
hmm
cheaper.
that was a good
Same,
pickup.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I, I hate to I
I'm
hate to say it,
happy.
but that was a good pickup.
I'm happy. I'm happy with what Pittsburgh is doing with their cap space this year.
Hmm.
Obviously, we still got some things to figure out, but I'm happy with what they're doing so far with their cap space right now. So
And
no complaints so far.
the Honey Badger's still out there on the street too. And I
Right,
know that that was a
right.
name that Pittsburgh was out there. A team that had ties to the Honey Badger, rumored to sign with you guys, but doesn't look like
And
nothing's.
last I heard, it's between Pittsburgh and the Raiders. So
Oh, okay. Because you did bring something up about the Raiders last week, with Stephon Gilmore, but I don't think that ever
yeah, it didn't right,
materialized.
it didn't right,
Okay,
right.
so
It didn't.
Stephon Gilmore is a free agent still.
Still right now. Yep.
And wow, that is interesting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got all these guys that could still do it. You know what I'm saying? And they
Still pretty
still.
early though, man.
I know, but and I guess people are trying to get their quarterbacks, situated, and other important positions and stuff. But I feel like defense is gonna be, just as important this season as it's ever gonna be with all
In
the
the
quarterback
AFC.
movement, particularly in the AFC. And oh, by the way, in addition to the quarterbacks in the AFC, you still got arguably the greatest coach in NFL history in the AFC, and you still got Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb to deal with. Those are the top three running backs in the league that you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So this conference is loaded already, and it's only gonna get more loaded. So let's get into it, bro. Who you wanna who you wanna talk
I mean,
about
it's
first?
the obvious one to talk about is freaking Deshaun Watson. $235 million guaranteed. Get your fucking money, bruh. Like
Man,
guaranteed.
God, man,
The contract is freaking guaranteed,
that's
bruh.
setting the precedent right there. That's
Yeah,
setting.
but yes. I don't want, but and we gonna
Of
get there.
course, we're gonna get there. Of course, I
That
don't.
money is $235 million is guaranteed. Let's be clear. The biggest guarantee ever wasn't it like Aaron Rodgers just
I
recently
think it was just Aaron Rodgers' new contract.
for like 153 to 153
Mm-hmm.
dollars.
Yep. Yep.
That's damn near $70 million
Yeah.
over
The
the fucking
Browns.
record that was just set last week.
Them niggas in Cleveland was like, yo, we need that dude.
What? But let's be clear.
And there's
I'm
smoke to be
happy
handed
Deshaun
out.
Watson.
There's smoke to be
Deshaun
handed out. Yep.
Watson,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. Enjoy every single cent of that money. You are, for in all intents and purposes, a top five, and some people would say a top three quarterback, at least when he was playing
Mm-hmm.
in this league. Get your money. With that being said,
Mm-hmm.
the Browns, man, that is a lot to give away,
They better hope.
money wise,
Mm-hmm.
and all the picks, all the three first rounders, I think the two whatever it is, the two second round, all that like
Two
gave
fourth
they gave
rounders.
fourth rounders. I'm
Two
sorry,
fourth rounders, a third, and then the three first, like you talked about.
they gave Houston everything they wanted and still paid Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Deshaun Watson, boy.
Mm.
Shout out to his agent.
Yeah. I mean, you have to give the agent credit in this situation, not just for the money, but now you've kind of set a precedent where, we know for the history of the league, dudes ain't getting guaranteed money like that. Now
That's
that
NBA shit.
right now this is Major League Baseball type shit right
Baseball,
here.
right.
Yeah,
Facts.
you know what I'm
Facts.
saying? This is baseball
Facts.
type contracts right here, and I don't know how the owners feel about it. I'm sure some of them are looking at this and like saying like, damn, like now we gotta cough up more money for some of these players than normal. Cause guess what Lamar Jackson gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Guess what Kyler Murray's gonna do? Guess what some of these other up and coming quarterbacks, some of these pass rushers, some of these other guys that look at this and say, "Oh, yeah, we need more guaranteed money." Like it's
Yeah.
this is a deal breaker right here, and you said we're going to get there. I wanna take it there now because obviously 22 civil cases still exists with Deshaun
Mm-hmm.
Watson with these females. We know about
Yep.
last week. We know that the criminal charges were not pursued by the grand jury. The grand jury determined that there wasn't enough evidence brought to the table, so Deshaun Watson avoids that side of it, but there's still the civil stuff to deal with. Doesn't mean that he's guilty. It doesn't mean that he's innocent. Me personally, I honestly don't know, but you're looking at 22 women. I don't believe that all 22 women are lying. I don't believe that all 22 women are telling the truth. I think there's a mix in between. I think there's some that are telling the truth in a situation, and to those women, I apologize that you had to go through that if you're telling the truth, and to the women that are just in this for cash purposes, trying to get rich off of it. You're wrong. You're liars. I'll just leave it at that when it comes to
Okay.
the cases there.
And
Um,
I leave that there.
yeah, yeah,
I'll leave that there. But I was going to say what I was going to say
mm-hmm,
is that the NFL still might hand out punishment. That was my thing. Look, the
yep,
criminal case is a criminal case. He got exonerated. I don't want to delve into guilty or non guilty. What for me,
mm-hmm,
the NFL might still decide that this is we need to suspend you. So you
yep.
guaranteed this Bama $235, and he might not play half the year next year, this upcoming
Right,
season.
and he's still gonna get that money if he's not
He's still
playing.
going to get that money. So
Yep.
I'm saying Deshaun Watson hit a lick, and good for you, brother. You hit a lick. You
Mm-hmm.
hit a fucking lick.
Yeah.
And yeah, and yeah, congratulations to Deshaun Watson. Not maybe not so unfortunate, but now this leaves Baker Mayfield in a situation where
Mm-hmm.
he might not start this year.
Yeah. It's starting to look
He's
that
definitely
way.
not going to be in Cleveland because
Oh, of course
but they,
not.
he on the they on the hook for like 19-20 million this year.
And you know what
So he
sucks for Cleveland?
mm,
What sucks for Cleveland is eventually they're gonna have to cut him because
yeah.
the teams that are out there that possibly could use him, let's say a Seattle, a Carolina, those are the two teams that kind of jump to mind when it comes to the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
They know that Baker ain't playing for him. So if I'm Carolina or Seattle, what the hell am I giving up draft capital or
Draft capital for
stuff
right.
for? Why am I giving up
Right.
that stuff when I could possibly get Baker for free? Because they're gonna
Right.
cut him
Well, not for
eventually.
free, but yeah.
Right.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Eventually.
yeah, right,
Mm-hmm.
right. They gotta cut him. Yeah,
Right.
they gotta cut him. Yeah, that's a
So
fact. That's
I
a
don't
fact.
know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Baker. Like it seems like on one hand teams don't want him, they don't want to trade for him, and then on the other hand it's like, okay, who's left? Because
I mean, who? But and like you said, it's only two teams that really need a quarterback, and depending on like, and I get it, teams are going to say they're sold on their quarterbacks right now. Obviously, and we're going to talk about quarterback teams being sold on their quarterbacks, but
yep,
I mean, they just got Drew Lock. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Who's to say that he's young cat? Who's to say he can't just come in and start? In Carolina's situation, I
They owe
mean,
Darnold.
yeah.
They owe Darnold some money. Darnold's still on the contract.
So it's like, I mean, but they could cut ties, but
They could.
it's just like
They could.
it's a situation where they're quarter teams. There's really no need. Well, I ain't gonna say really no need, but you could if you wanted to assume that the quarterback position was filled in every team,
Mm-hmm.
you could. I mean, let's be clear. You could go with that. I mean, I don't think that Baker Mayfield is like I think he's better than Sam Darnold. I think he's better than Drew Lock. I
I
think he's
agree.
better than a few quarterbacks that are starting.
Yep.
But who going to say I forget you? Like the Jets, he's obviously better than Wilson, but nobody going to pick up that contract, and they probably got cap space. They're not going to pick up that contract to bring him to
Right,
the
and I
Jets. I
think the
don't think.
Jets, are fine with Wilson right now. Like I think
Yeah, right.
they're
Yeah,
claiming that that's their guy, right? Like we
right.
can go through we can go through these divisions. Like the AFC East, we know who the quarterbacks are going to be in the AFC East. We know Josh Allen is going to be in Buffalo. We know Mac Jones, the second year under New England. Tua, um, I don't want to say it's a question mark, but the
It
Dolphins
is.
keep saying, you know, every year since he's been drafted, they keep saying there's a question mark. There's always these trade rumors with him. I think Tua's good. I think he should still given the opportunity to start in Miami, but
Yeah.
we'll see how the Dolphins deal with that. The AFC North, I think the quarterback situation is set there. The South, and we could get into Matt Ryan going to the Colts. And at first I laughed. I laughed at the Colts because not only have they started a different quarterback for the last seems like 5-6 years, but I feel like there's better quarterbacks than Matt Ryan, and it's only because of age, not because of skill. Um, but after rethinking it, it's like, okay, it's Jonathan
It's
Taylor's
not terrible.
team. Right, it's Jonathan Taylor's team. The defense is still good. Offensive line, still one of the best. Could use that left tackle, but still, top five offensive line. They could use some receiver help
Sure.
in Indianapolis.
Sure.
Julio Jones is still out there in case people want to talk about reuniting him with Matt Ryan, just to throw that out there. So yeah, you got that situation, and I think the Colts did what they had to do. They had to fill a spot, and they can compete with Tennessee for this division. I mean, it's not like they're in the West. It's not like they're in the North. Even though they're gonna have to play a couple of these teams here and there, but if you're telling me you get to face Jacksonville twice, the Texans twice, yeah, I think the Colts, in terms of playoff contention, I think with Matt Ryan, I think they could get there.
Yep, like I said, they just would have to win a division. I don't feel the need to go all over the NFL to try to find a job for Baker Mayfield. So where I want to go is, uh, did you hear what Teddy Bridgewater said about his opportunity in Miami?
So I didn't hear what he said, but I saw you tweet something about it earlier.
Yeah, because Chris Sims, yeah, bro, you like in short, he said. In short, they asked him about his opportunity. Teddy Bridgewater said, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously,
Yeah,
that it's a it's a I got a great opportunity, a unique opportunity.
yeah,
And Florio went on to say that it's obviously only two opportunities you can have. One, you're going to be the backup that helps the starter, or
right,
you're the backup that has the opportunity to unseat the starter if the starter isn't playing well.
yeah,
So clearly, he was brought to Miami to compete with Tua. You know what
yep,
I'm saying? Now it's Tua's job to lose,
yep,
but Teddy Bridgewater was put there
yep.
to light a fire under Tua's ass. Like, hey, bro, stop playing.
And as I responded to you on Twitter, it's Teddy Bridgewater's mindset to go in there and compete for the starting job, even
Right.
though everybody and their mama knows it's Tua's job to lose at this point.
But I will say this. I'm always reminded of Marcus Mariota in Tennessee
Mm-hmm.
when Ryan Tannehill came in
Yeah.
and took his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is going to be the case with Tua. I'm just saying Tua better get his mind right, because Tannehill outplayed that man outplayed Mariota in the preseason.
Yeah.
Got the job as a starter, and the story, how the story go. But I'm just saying, Tua better be careful, man, because this is you could mess around and lose your job thinking that it's guaranteed to you because you're young and your college career. And let's be clear, Tua hasn't been bad, so I don't know why all this is happening.
Right.
But it's happening. So don't sit here and
I don't know why it's happening
either.
either.
Yeah, I don't know why it's happening, but don't sit there with your head tucked under your ass thinking, you ain't gonna lose a job because you Tua and you've had success in Miami. And let's be clear, I get why Tua's job was in jeopardy when it was Deshaun Watson, but this right here, this is a hey, wake up. Wake up! You're gonna lose your job, and Teddy Bridgewater is gonna be cheaper when we got to pay him than you're gonna be if we got to pay you.
Yeah. In addition to that, there's a new coach in Miami also, so we're gonna have to see how patient he is with Tua under that system as well.
Well, I would say that in response to that, I would say that the Bama is probably like he's doing the right thing. Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Is it Mike McDonald?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing the right thing because light the fire now.
Yep.
I need you to be that quarterback. I need you to be my franchise quarterback because if not, I'm not going to be here long.
Right.
So bringing Teddy Bridgewater in with the opportunity to take his job if he played trash.
Yep.
I'm with it. Great call.
That is a team nobody is talking about when we've had conversations about the powers of the AFC because of the quarterbacks that have been traded to this conference, the quarterbacks that are already in the conference, and Miami is sort of left out of that conversation. However, when
rightfully so, though.
What's that?
Rightfully so.
When I look at the bottom of the conference, Jacksonville, Houston, the Jets, I don't know if I would put Miami in that conversation with those three teams. And if someone would give me a reason to say, well, Flores isn't there no more, so maybe that team takes a drop off because of that, and not that the coach, it was expected that Flores was going to get fired. He got fired unceremoniously, like by surprise. So we don't know how that affects the players that are there. We don't know how that affects, roster and all that. But I would put Miami somewhere in the middle of that. Like, not, Jacksonville, the Jets, Houston. I wouldn't group them in with those three teams. I would group them in with the likes of the Patriots, the Steelers. I would group them in with those teams because those teams are considered to be like toward the bottom of that like power conference teams right there.
Let's be clear.
When you talk about the quarterback position, I'm just talking about the quarterback position.
Right, so I wouldn't call the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Power and Pittsburgh Steelers or Miami Dolphins don't. I mean, because you gotta look at the AFC now. There's been a shift, a major shift.
Of course.
Yeah. So, cause there's Deshaun Watson, there's Joe Burrow, there's Patrick Mahomes, obviously. There's Lamar Jackson,
Herbert.
and Herbert. There's,
Russell Wilson.
That's 6.
Josh Allen.
That's 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that, the Mitch Trubisky's, you know what I'm saying? Like the Matt Ryans, the Ryan Tannehills.
Yep.
And like those, and I get that, one of those subpar or second level quarterbacks,
right,
have to make the playoffs. Ideally, in the South.
Yep.
But teams like the Steelers, I know I gotta keep saying them. Unfortunately, the Steelers, teams like you said, the Colts, the Titans,
Patriots,
the Patriots, right? Like these teams aren't like these teams. We're not even. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's hard for me to look at any of those teams outside of the AFC South teams None of these teams are making the playoffs with those quarterbacks, barring injury.
Right, right.
Denver
So
is in the hunt.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think, and
Cleveland is in the hunt.
Cleveland is in the hunt, and for real, I would have to say because of Pittsburgh's defense, Pittsburgh's in the hunt if we're talking playoffs. You might feel
I hope you're
differently
right.
about that,
I
but
hope you're right. All I can say is I hope you're right. I don't want to get into that depressing thing no more.
sure,
But
sure,
all I can say is I hope you're right.
sure. Because one, if not two of those top seven quarterbacks aren't making the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
But what I'm saying, but that's why I was talking about the AFC South though,
Yeah.
because of the teams that's probably going to make it, it's probably going to be that division winner.
Yep.
I don't see anybody else. I don't see anybody
Like
else
wild card.
outside of those quarterbacks. I don't see any of those non-big quarterback names not making the playoffs outside of, like I said, outside of the AFC South. So if whoever wins the South is in,
Yep.
I don't see nobody. It's going to be the Broncos. It's going to be the Chargers. It's going to be the Browns. It's going to be
We ain't even
the
mentioned Derek
Ravens.
Carr. We ain't even mentioned
Right,
Derek Carr. Yeah.
right. Like Derek Carr might not make the playoffs with that team around him.
Yep.
He might not make the playoffs. I mean, we gotta get right into it. Davante Adams is there, along with the likes of Chandler Jones and all these people they signing.
Yeah.
And that puts they putting a roster around him, and now it's putting the pressure on you.
Yep.
You gotta now with that team around you, you gotta be able to compete with the likes of Mahomes, Herbert, and Russell Wilson to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a gauntlet, man.
And none of these rosters are bad. And none of them rosters are bad because the Chargers went and got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. Like they went and ramped up because they knew quarterbacks was going to be in this division. So I mean, the AFC West
And the Broncos went and got Randy Gregory.
right. The freaking AFC West is going to be the division to watch all year.
And the Chiefs got your boy too.
Got Juju. I mean, yeah, and that's a great pickup. But in the scheme of pickups, like what I'm saying, like that kind of falls to the wayside. But that is a good pickup for them. Because right now, defense is because that quarterback situation is crazy.
Yeah.
And
It's nuts.
and they paid Davante Adams what 28 a year.
Yeah. Largest for a receiver. That I do know. But
Yeah.
somewhere in that range.
Man. And congratulations to him because he's the best receiver in the game.
Yes,
He
sir.
the best receiver should be paid like the best receiver. So congrats to him. But I mean, getting to that playoff conversation, man, it's hard for me to believe that the only subpar or mid-tier quarterback that's getting into the playoffs, to my guess, is going to be coming out of the AFC South. I don't think nobody else is getting into the playoffs, and I hope I'm wrong when I'm talking about Pittsburgh. But that even puts Baltimore in a precarious position because I'm with you. Lamar Jackson is a part of that conversation, but now we gotta when you're a part of that conversation, one, you got to ball with them, and your team got to be able to put it together around you.
Of course.
And
that's why we went and got the safety from the Saints. That's why we went and got the offensive tackle.
But you need that pass rusher.
Yeah, and I've been saying for a couple years
than
now.
anything.
Yep.
But more, maybe more so than ever for a Ravens fan with all these AFC quarterbacks and like, bruh, like.
And then, not to make this to go unnoticed, but the Bengals went and got the dude from Dallas, Collins, for the offensive line. So.
Oh, that's where he went.
Yeah. So they trying to shore that up. Man. Yo, it's
I know that loss hurt. Because I know that loss hurt.
Oh yeah,
man.
Absolutely. Now they get that guy, and then they got opportunity to draft more offensive linemen in the draft and shore that up. They gonna be a problem. The Bengals are gonna be a problem. I mean, all these teams with these quarterbacks are gonna be problems.
Yeah.
And for real, and I mentioned it earlier, if Derrick Henry's healthy and back to Derrick Henry, he gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Taylor is gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if Bill Belichick can somehow, coach his way through another season like he did this past season, they they gonna be, and I'm just talking about to get to the
Yeah, I got you.
playoffs. Not,
I
I
got you.
don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. We
I don't
talking.
think they're a playoff team.
Okay, that's fair.
I hear you. And I mean, you got to respect that they went last year. I'm just
Yep.
saying with the way this paradigm shift,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Patriots are a playoff team this year. I don't
Okay.
think they sniff it.
I
don't
hope
think
you're
they have a
right.
losing. Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
you're right.
I
For
don't
real.
think they sniff it, man.
For real.
I don't think they sniff it.
Hey, get it back to the Davante Adams
go
thing
ahead.
for a second. So the Packers got first round pick and a second round pick for from the Raiders to swap over Davante Adams here. So, in your opinion, like, because all last year into the offseason, Aaron Rodgers has been complaining about the management don't care about the team around him. They drafting Jordan Love, and it's like, yo, what you doing? And then last offseason, it's the last dance kind of a thing that they've been, him and Davante Adams been talking about. They get through the regular season. He wins the MVP, and they place, and not they, but Aaron Rodgers plays so terribly against the Niners in the playoffs. He gets his money, and his best receiver gets traded. So it's like, okay, what does Aaron Rodgers think about this? Because people have been saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers knew about it. I'm not so certain about that, but
Yeah,
I
don't think he knew about it.
Yeah, I think the Packers just did what they felt like they needed to do. Or I should say this too, because Davante Adams made it clear that he was not playing under no franchise tag. He made that perfectly clear. And
then
I
they tagged him.
Right.
And then they tagged him.
Right. So so they did what they had to do. And
yeah, I'm not look. I don't know. I don't know if there was some type of strategic gain for the Packers for them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that they would have just done that to piss him off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe there was some type of strategic gain. Maybe that helped set the market for him to get paid the way he wanted to get paid because he getting paid $28 a year. I believe the franchise tag was 27 something crazy.
That's
somewhere
set the
around
precedent also.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So maybe because maybe with them tagging them, an agent could go and say, "Hey, you can't pay me no less than 27. That's the franchise market. That's what he. So you got to give me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was that. I don't know. I know for the Packers though, it's hard for me to believe that they are going to do much more than what they did this past year. I mean, they still in the North, so it's not like. We believe Minnesota with the moves they made.
They in the NFC.
Right. So I think they'll still be all right as far as seeding. They'll be in the playoffs, that type of thing. But I don't see them going further. They're a worse off team today than they were before Davante Adams left. And now is you with the likes of Randall Cobb and Scantling and
I forget. Oh, Tunyon. Tunyon's the tight end.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like this that wide receiver core. I tell you what, just hand the ball off to Aaron Jones to keep him honest, but you let Aaron Rodgers sling it all over the field like he's been doing anyway.
Right,
and
exactly.
Hope for the
There's some veterans out there on the market though. And if Odell Beckham can heal himself up back to 100% quickly, he could be a guy that could be in Green Bay.
But he's still on contract right now.
No, he's a free agent.
I thought he was still on contract.
No, he's a free agent. He's a free agent. So,
if I'm them, I'm pulling the gun on him and AB right now. I mean, I don't know what their money look like, but if I can, I'm putting money on him and AB right now.
Yeah. AB out here doing videos with Keisha Cole, so
cool. I'm pulling the trigger on him right now.
And
AB and Odell Beckham as 1 and 2.
And Julio Jones is out there still too. Good possession receiver right there. So So the Packers, they got some room. They got time.
If I'm the Packers, I'm trying to pull. And like I said, I don't know. Obviously, I'm just spitballing. I don't know what their money is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull all 3 of them right now because you can get them at a bargain right now.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Hey, so we could jump to the South for a second in the NFC. Jameis Winston is back with the Saints under a 2 year, $28 million deal, I believe that is. So he's getting $14 million per year under those 2 years. So good for the Saints. Good for Jameis Winston because
Sure.
I was one that was screaming about how Jameis Winston was still on the street amidst all the quarterback movement and everything like that.
Yep.
So shout out to Jameis Winston because
Yep.
he balled the first 7 games last year before he got hurt, and he was playing real efficient football. So it's gonna be
Sure.
nice to.
I don't know that that helps him. I don't know if that helps the Saints as far as their uh playoff ambitions.
They in the
And I'm saying
NFC.
that just well. I guess wild card. Yeah, the NFC is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess if we're talking wild card, right? I
that's.
guess I was more so. I guess I was more so thinking winning the division.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're winning the division with Tom Brady back. I just don't.
No, I agree with
Um,
that. I agree with that.
but I'm glad he got his bread. That's for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Oh yeah, no
But
question.
what about the fucking Falcons bringing in Marcus Mariota, bruh?
Well, listen, I'll say this: I'm happy for Marcus Mariota.
That's true.
I'm happy for him, but this is gonna be. I'm trying to think of the team that had a season that was just like, okay, we just gonna. Well, I guess the Texans, right? Like
Hmm.
last year's Texans. Like that's what the Falcons are gonna be this season, because there's nothing. There's really nothing there. Like Calvin Ridley suspended. There's no more Julio Jones. Matt Ryan's in Indianapolis now. And so it's, I mean, you got Kyle Pitts, so I guess they got something there, and he's a stud, but you still got to get him the ball. So,
I'm gonna say I'm sure he will be, but I don't know that he's a stud right this second. I mean,
well,
if we're still doing the
mm-hmm.
if we're still doing the he was good in college thing and cool, and I'm not saying he won't ever become a good NFL player, but
Yep.
as of right now,
Mm-hmm.
the jury's still out.
I hear you. He's probably the best player on that team right now, with all the
Probably,
with
which
all
is
the
crazy.
with all the moves
Right,
that they've made so far. So,
right.
yeah, that team is bare right now.
They looking at a healthy 4-13.
Yeah, and I mean in that division where I mean you look at the competition. I mean Carolina. I mean there's nothing to sneeze. I mean you know
I mean,
somebody to
they
take
might sneak a
seriously.
Carolina. They might sneak a Carolina game.
Maybe,
Um, I mean,
maybe.
if I'm being honest, I mean, do you think they could sneak a New Orleans game? I don't think they sneak a Tampa Bay game though.
Oh no, they get
They
swept. They get swept by Tampa.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
they could definitely split with the Panthers. And for real, they might could split with the Saints for real. You
Mhm.
know, it's
Mhm.
division games. You never know sometimes, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think the Falcons could split. But other than that, to be competitive this season coming up, yeah, nah, the Falcons they gonna be in the running for the number one pick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I really thought the previous offseason they had a chance to get their quarterback. I thought that Justin Fields was gonna be their guy, and they passed up on him to get Kyle Pitts. So
Where are they? I would imagine they're pretty high in the draft. This year. Where are they at? Do you know?
I don't know, but I would imagine they're like in the top six, top seven of
Okay.
picks.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe I mean, I don't think you get Mariota and
Hmm.
say you're done with the quarterback position in the offseason. So,
I agree with that.
maybe they draft, but I the report is that none of these quarterbacks are going to be in the draft are going to be a quarterback that comes in, starts,
Hmm.
and is successful. Starting quarter, they said there are about two starting quarterbacks to their account, Malik Willis and
And Pickett, right? Hmm.
Pickett, but there's nobody that's going to come in immediately and take the league by storm per se.
Sure.
So
At
you
least that's
know,
not the projection anyway. That's
right, and I'm only talking about projections. I'm only talking
yep,
about projections.
yep.
So with that being said, you would think that they're not done, but that's not done at quarterback Atlanta, but
Hmm.
that it's not like they're gonna bring in somebody projection wise. They're gonna bring in somebody and set the league on fire either. So they're still looking at being top 10 in the draft next year.
And by the way, they got a third for Matt Ryan, which
Okay,
that's probably what you're gonna
that's
get
good.
if you're Atlanta.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep. So, um,
Urban Meyer.
oh, you want to get into that? Yeah, we can get into that.
I don't understand. I tweeted about it earlier today. Urban Meyer is literally the definition of we don't care as long as you winning. Because it's come to my attention that he's been a piece of shit all through his collegiate
Florida, when he
career.
was at Florida with
Yeah,
Tebow. Yeah.
with in Ohio,
Ohio
in
State.
Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
He was a piece of shit there. Obviously, we just watched him in Jacksonville, um, and even off the field, fired and in the press. He throwing shade to Aaron Donald and Debo Samuel,
Like I said,
and
who's number 99 for the Rams?
like, bro, you don't got nothing better to do. Is this a media
Wow.
thing? Like, is this a thing where you just want to be in the news?
Oh my
Like,
God.
what is this? What is this? And I'm not saying that his comments are egregious as far as like he did something wrong, like something ethically wrong. I'm just saying, bruh,
No, it's not. But
it's just like, bruh, what are you doing? What are you
but
doing?
but come on, man. Little kid knows who Aaron Donald is.
No,
like
like
come on.
no. Your profession is football, and you're telling me that uh, league wide, Aaron Donald is considered as the best defensive player in the league right now, and you don't know who he is. So let's be clear. We know you know who he is.
Yeah.
If you're doing a semblance of your job,
Mm-hmm.
you know who he is. So what's the reason for that?
Yeah. This speaks more than just about Urban Meyer. We know Urban Meyer is a piece of shit, but this speaks to the Jacksonville owner also that hired the dude and then allowed the dude to hire a guy that said some racist shit back in college. And then
I
and then
want.
allowed him to bring in Tim Tebow when everybody on the roster was like, "Why are you bringing this dude in? What the hell's going on here?" And then after you cut him, you still allowed Tebow to come to the facility whenever he wanted to do so.
I want this dude to never coach football again
I mean,
on any level.
you gotta John Gruden him though, right? You gotta
Yeah, yeah. I want him, like, yeah, put him on the Stiviano list. That's what we're gonna call it, a Stivi of people we don't want to no longer be in the leagues.
Donald Sterling list.
Yeah, nah, I'm gonna call it the Stiviano list because I don't want to give Sterling no shine. The Stiviano list. We need to put We need to put V on Urban Meyer and get him up out of here, man. It's officially the Stiviano list, man. I don't want him to coach football no more, bro. Like
I
I
don't want
don't
to see him on
like
TV. I don't want to see him
I,
as an
yeah.
analyst. I don't want to see him on Fox. I don't want to see him on any of these networks. I just
Like and I'm
he
not
can
the
just
type
go
that want
away.
to take. Like I'm sure you got enough money to live your life for the rest of your life. I don't want to see you. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to see him coaching no sports. I don't want to see him coaching no football, no SEC TV or whatever the hell college football. I don't want to see no commentating. I don't want to see a tweet. I don't want to see a Bleacher Report headline. I don't want to see. I'm good on Urban Meyer.
Go run your
I'm good on
sports
him.
bar back in Ohio. How about you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'm good on Urban Meyer, man. He got to chill.
Yeah,
I'm good on him because now it's just disrespectful.
yeah. It's crazy. I read some of the stuff that they were saying that he was doing and telling the players what happens if you don't get a job. You're gonna be making $15 an hour and come on, fam. Get out of here with that. You gotta go hide someplace and only to never be seen again. That's where I'm at
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I agree.
back to the Rams. So Stafford gets this contract extension with
Mhm.
$60 million in bonus money. So shout out to him for that. I mean, Super
Yeah,
Bowl champ, so he deserved
like you
that.
should. Yep.
So the Rams made a trade with the Titans, Robert Woods, over to Tennessee for a 6th round pick, which
Oh, so they got a number two.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, so they got a number two. Yeah.
yep. So I think it's good on both parts. The Titans
Mm-hmm.
needed a guy to replace Julio since he's not there no more, and the Rams feel like okay, we feel like we got our guys, and they're probably, I would have to guess, because, well, never mind, because they don't have no draft picks in the 1st round, because they traded them to
Yeah.
get Jalen Ramsey, Matt Stafford,
Mm-hmm.
and all the stars of the Rams. They
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
mortgaged the future there, which was worth it, by the way, for them. So,
Right, because they got it. Right.
yep, because they got it. So I'm just trying to
So how you
figure
feel
out what.
about them picking up Julio?
That would be a great pickup for the Rams
Yeah.
if they could do that. That
That's a
was.
Hollywood pickup. That's a
Yeah.
Hollywood pickup if you ain't never seen it. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we mentioned AB still out there. I mean, he might want to join that party too, since he's hanging out with stars and stuff. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, there's going to be some receivers on the market that's going to cost you cheap. They still could play, and they're gonna fit right into that offense, because we know Cooper Kupp is the number one, and depending on what happens with Odell, they might just re-sign him, in addition to possibly a
Right.
Julio Jones or an Antonio Brown. So
Right.
they could go a number
Right.
of different ways, because Von Miller is not there no more, so they freed up some money there at least. We'll see what they can do with that money.
I'm with you. I want to ask you a question. And I'm sure, and we kind of talked about it earlier. But what are your views on what Lamar Jackson's deal is going to be now?
In light of Deshaun Watson's mega deal, right? So,
Yeah.
well, it's a market setter, right? So we've had
Right.
two market setting contracts within a month span. So whoever's next is gonna have that leverage, right? Like whether it's Kyler Murray, whether it's Lamar Jackson, and really it's Lamar Jackson, because this
Right.
is
Yeah.
year number 5. This is the option year that the team gave him. So yeah, right now, if he wins the Super Bowl, you got to give him north of
Well,
$60 million a year.
and but really,
Mm-hmm.
even if he don't win the Super Bowl, $253 million was guaranteed to Deshaun Watson, and he didn't play last year. And let's be
Yeah,
clear,
yeah,
we know what he
that's
can
true.
do.
That's
We
true.
know what he can do.
I didn't think about
But
that part of him not playing last year. I
two
didn't think about
hundred and
that.
$53 million was guaranteed to this man
Yeah.
in the same division.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, with respect to Deshaun Watson, because he deserves the contract, in my personal opinion. Enjoy your money. I would on the stage on the side of black quarterbacks. I gotta look past my hatred for the Ravens. Um,
And the Browns, for that matter.
yeah, right, right. Um, I want his contract guaranteed. Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
And if it's 253, we could push it up to two. We could push it to 265.
Be objective for a second. As a
Okay.
fan, do you have an issue with Lamar not having an agent? Because I don't. I honestly don't have a problem with him not having an agent.
I don't have a problem with it, no. But what I will say is, an agent, their job is to agent.
Yep.
And you
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I think that it would be easier, and this is me from the outside, never having to negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it would be a smoother transition for him to get an agent, and go ahead and lock in that guaranteed 265 mil. Because the way I see it, if you give it to Deshaun Watson, you got to give it to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no question. And like I said, I'm okay with him not having an agent, but I do understand the point about something about an agent being able to finagle the organization and point to certain things about providing comparables, right? Because that's what
Yeah,
negotiations is all about, providing
right,
comparables. And right now, as we sit here, Deshaun Watson's contract is the comparable right now.
right,
I mean,
right. And
when you look at playoffs, Deshaun Watson has only got one playoff win. Lamar Jackson has
yeah,
one playoff win.
yeah,
When you look at stats, and I get Deshaun Watson is probably a little better when it comes to the stats, but Lamar Jackson is responsible for 80, if not 90% of that offense.
yeah.
So if you're the agent, that's what you got to do. But I'm okay if he doesn't have one. If his mom's the agent and she could find a way to point to those comparables, then good for them because that money stays in the family.
Would you be disappointed if Lamar Jackson doesn't get a comparable contract, meaning at least $253 million guaranteed?
I would have a slight disappointment, but I think my biggest disappointment would be if they couldn't make a deal and Lamar had to go somewhere else to get that deal.
Okay,
Like that,
obviously.
like that would like yeah. I mean, beyond disappointment, that would be devastation
Yeah,
at this
right,
point,
right,
right?
right. I mean, and at that point, you just set your franchise back,
Exactly.
essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I would feel some disappointment if you didn't get that comparable of a contract, given that
yeah.
this
But
is
of
how it
course,
works.
and let's be clear, we nobody thinks that the Ravens are going to let Lamar Jackson go out the door.
Sure. Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
So you would have to imagine, and again, I'm not a negotiating expert, I'm not an agent,
Mm-hmm.
but the comparison is right there. It shouldn't be that difficult to get north of $253 million guaranteed after Deshaun Watson just got $253 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with that 100%. 100% on that.
Yeah, and I
So,
keep saying 253. I thought it was 235.
I thought it was 230. I kind of let
Right,
you.
right. So
I
I keep
kind of
saying
let you ride
53.
with the 235, but you were close. It was 230.
Okay,
It's
okay.
230. So, but one more thing about that contract too. So I think you and I know he's going to get suspended. We just don't know how many games it's going to be. But that
Hmm.
contract is basically protection. It's basically saying, hey, if we miss you for 6, 7 weeks, we still got you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that's basically what this contract does. And, some fans have a problem with that. Some Browns fans have issue with this. At the end of the day, and I'll put a button on this. At the end of the day, I'm gonna watch Deshaun Watson play quarterback in the league. When he's on TV, when he's facing my Ravens, I'm gonna watch the game. When he's playing any team in the league, I'm gonna watch Deshaun Watson play
yep,
because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
and if
I,
you're a
I
fan,
agree.
and if you're a fan that's upset about how this is going down, whether it be the contract angle, whether it be the whole, the 22 cases angle, at the end of the day, when they start winning, when the Browns start winning football games, y'all gonna be right back in front of the TVs watching
Yeah,
the Browns win football games.
yeah. Because they got offensive line like that, running
Mm-hmm.
game like that. I mean, they got a number one receiver, and they're gonna need a number two. But the tight end is there, the
Yep.
defense is there.
They didn't have to give up
Um,
nothing, basically. Like, that's the scary
yeah,
part. They were still able to keep Miles Garrett, Denzel Ward,
yeah,
Njoku, the running back. Like, they were able to keep
yeah,
the rest of the roster intact. Like,
yeah.
that's a scary proposition right there.
I mean, the future, the whole future conversation. Obviously with the draft picks, but
Yep.
but right now, but this immediately puts them in Super Bowl talk. I won't say contention. I'll say talk.
Talk, yeah.
Yeah, but they're right there in Super Bowl talk. I mean, you look. There's no way you could look at this roster and see anything different because they was. I mean, hell, people were saying that they was in the talk with Baker Mayfield,
Yeah, that's true. That's
and we
true.
know who the better quarterback by a lot.
Oh yeah, it's no question about it. No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was being a crybaby about everything. I thought. With the letter, with the with the message to the Browns fans and all that
You knew
stuff.
what it was.
It's like
I ain't mad at him. Go
no,
ahead, get your shit off.
no, okay, but come on, like, I mean, Tua had to deal with this last year with
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson talk, and all that dude was doing was coming back to the field and playing football. That's all he did. You didn't hear a peep out of him.
Well, here's the difference. One, Tua still got his job, and two, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening while Baker Mayfield was playing. So it's not like Baker Mayfield could, just put his hat down, play football, and try to make people forget about the idea of Deshaun Watson coming to Cleveland.
Right, but he was still
Baker
under
Mayfield's
contract though. That's the thing.
Baker Mayfield's tape for the year is already out there.
Yeah.
There's nothing he could do to change it. Also, I didn't realize this, but I've been hearing people talk about it. But Baker Mayfield has been injured all year, so there was a situation where he might have sat out to get right, and he chose not to sit out and get right.
Yeah.
And he played like trash all year. Hurt. I get it. He was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt. Yeah, and they still said, nah, we need somebody better. They still said, nah, we need somebody. So.
But now his poor play, whether injured or not, is on tape.
Yep.
And now, only thing that they're saying or seeing is what hindered them from having a productive season.
Yep.
Was the quarterback position. So it's just like it's kind of different for me because Tua had pressure, but it wasn't that kind of pressure where there's nothing you could do about it because you can't just go out and play and outplay the conversation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Tua wasn't necessarily outplaying the conversation, but he was at least on the field where you could say, all right, we could work with Tua. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the overall consensus is that if we could have got Deshaun Watson, we would get him. But if we don't, Tua is a serviceable starter in the league. We are good.
Yeah.
That's not the same conversation for Baker Mayfield, and now there's not really no quarterback openings for real.
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean, that's the part that's like messed up for Baker right now.
I've seen people talking about, should Pittsburgh get him? You know what I'm saying? Mitchell Trubisky, even though they said they brought him in to be a starter, he didn't get paid starter money, and he was a backup last year. Why not bring Baker Mayfield to Pittsburgh and see if he can revive his career? I, on the hand, do not want Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying that's what some of the conversation
I haven't seen that, by the way. I haven't seen any of that talk, by the way.
I saw it on TV today.
Interesting.
Somebody was like, you got Trubisky. Why couldn't you just bring in Baker Mayfield and have a quarterback competition?
Well, because number one, you're not going to trade for him. Number two, he's still under contract with the Browns. And number three, by the time they decide we're going to cut him, y'all probably be straight. I mean, Haskins, Rudolph, and Trubisky. Like, that's your three right there. And if you guys draft Malik Willis, and I heard Malik Willis was out with Tomlin at dinner the other day, so, that might come up something. That there's really no room for Baker Mayfield, even on the Steelers, in my book. So,
well, I look forward to Mason Rudolph being cut. I'm not saying I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm just saying I'm looking forward to it. I would love. Yeah, for me, yes, just because I want a black quarterback. 1, 2, Haskins is younger. 3, Mason Rudolph has kind of showed what he's going to be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Might have I'm not going to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm cool. I'm cool on Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, shout out to Facebook Live chat, Mo Cheese and Mocha Bella in the building. Appreciate it.
What's up?
So what happens to Jimmy Garoppolo now? Because for me now...
Oh, man. He is in a Baker Mayfield situation, ain't he?
No. I wouldn't compare him to Baker's situation because at the end of the day,
Okay.
the Niners could just say, okay, we'll run it back with Jimmy again. We'll give Trey Lance another year to sit on the bench and learn and, do all that stuff. So I think Jimmy's in a better spot than Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Do you think that that's the case? Because I mean, it seems like everybody's, I mean, before this happened with Deshaun Watson,
Right.
the conversation was Trey Lance era is starting this
Oh
year.
yeah, and I
That
was
was the
of that opinion,
conversation.
and I
Yeah.
was of that opinion that it was Jimmy G's time to get up out of there until all this quarterback movement started happening, and once spots started to fill up, you're like, okay, where's Jimmy G gonna go?
And
And
then why would the 40 if why is your mind changed now that there are no quarterback openings in the field? That don't change the Trey Lance. That don't change the fact that the Trey Lance era is about to start. That just means Jimmy G would get cut.
no, I think it changes for me because they can just run it. They can start Jimmy Garoppolo week one, and if for some reason along the line he starts messing up, then they could start the Trey Lance era right in the middle of the season or week five, week six, or whatever that happens. So, and
Right.
let's remember, they're paying Jimmy Garoppolo all this money too. So, why would you have a guy on your roster that you're paying all this money to, and you're at least not giving him the opportunity to, make up for the performance in the playoffs? I would, if it's me, at this point, after looking at all the quarterback movement, I would tell Jimmy, hey, look, we're gonna hold on to you. Um, we're gonna make you the starter, but if you mess up along the way, we're gonna turn this football team right over to Trey Lance. And I think exactly that's what's gonna happen unless Carolina changes their stance about Sam Darnold, or well, it wouldn't be
Okay, so you're
Seattle
talking.
because Seattle wouldn't trade within the division, so I don't think that is an option. But
Okay, so you're talking right because you're talking about trading Garoppolo somewhere. Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
Seattle wouldn't.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Right.
But if
Okay.
Carolina said, you know what, let's just go get another quarterback, and Jimmy G is that guy, then yeah, then all bets is off. But I think for now, I think Jimmy G is in a much better spot than Baker Mayfield is.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay, I keep forgetting that he's not a free agent, Jimmy Garoppolo. He has to be traded. That's what I
Yeah,
keep.
exactly.
Nah, yeah, right,
Exactly. And,
right,
and and quite frankly, Baker Mayfield has to get traded also. It's just that
right.
they just got Deshaun Watson. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the big
Yeah,
difference there.
I think they'll find some way to get that done though, because that's another $19 million. You're not paying no backup $19 million.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the whole thing. If you can't find a trade partner, then you're just gonna ride it out with him until he messes up again.
And NBA man.
Yep.
Shout out to LeBron James, who is now number two all time, scoring just past Karl Malone last week.
Yep.
Also, shout out to LeBron James, who could end this year as the league leading scorer, which would make him the oldest player to ever had done it. Before that, it was Steph and Jordan,
Yeah.
who did it before him at 30, I think it was. But
So he's
LeBron
leading the
would
league in
be at
scoring right now.
He's tied. Him and Embiid are tied
Okay. Okay.
at
That's
like 30,
hey. I mean,
39, I think
the
30.9.
the Lakers ain't going nowhere, so hey, you might as well try to play the strive for
Yeah, man,
something. You know.
get some accolades, right? Get some
Yeah.
damn accolades.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Do
I've seen.
you?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, well, I was about to change the subject because I didn't really have much. I just wanted to give him a shout out. But if you got something to add to it, go ahead.
Oh well, shout out to him for dunking on Kevin Love, even though that wasn't his best
Facts.
dunk, but he still dunked on Kevin Love. So shout out to him for that. But yeah, I was just gonna make a point that Skip Bayless has sort of been on this. Well, the Lakers are under 10 games under 500, and all LeBron is doing is just trying to get accolades, and ain't nothing wrong with that,
So
cause
what?
everybody know the Lakers ain't going nowhere, and even if they win in the play-in tournament and they get in that 1 through 8, they're going home. They're going home in the first round. So
And everybody, and of all the people who deserves this to chase accolades, it's LeBron.
right, right,
Particularly scoring accolades because the knock on him is that he's not a good scorer,
right.
which he is. I mean, like he's legit an underrated. Like people don't respect him for his scoring
I think
prowess.
he's an underrated scorer. I think he's
Definitely
underrated
an
when it comes to
underrated
that.
scorer,
Yeah.
right? So
Because he does other things so dominantly that
right.
gets
That they forget that he
overlooked.
don't score. His jumper ain't the best, so we don't But
Yeah,
yeah, he's a great scorer. He's a great scorer, and I mean, um, look, man, I'm looking forward to being 60 years old and having an argument with people 20 years younger than me about who's better, Jordan or LeBron. I'm looking forward to the debate because I mean now at 37, LeBron, and I'm still Jordan by the way, but LeBron is making the case. Maybe not with
I was gonna say
championships.
championship wise, he's not.
Maybe not with
But
championships,
yeah,
but he's just as good as a scorer. I would say he's a better passer. Yeah, like there's conversations that I could debate with somebody about about who's the greatest of all time. So I definitely shouts out to LeBron James. My question though was, um, do you have an issue? So the Lakers lost to the Timberwolves last week, and
yeah,
kind of got their boots smoked.
yep,
And Patrick Beverly and Carl Anthony Towns was making fun of him as he was airballing
yeah.
and
Russell
doing
Westbrook,
those
right?
types of Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
and yeah, they
yeah.
was making fun of Russell Westbrook as and I was listening to a podcast where somebody was saying that Patrick Beverly and Carl Anthony Towns was out of line for making fun of Russell Westbrook.
I liked it. I liked Carl Anthony Towns's impression of just standing there and looking like where the ball go. Like I
Well,
like
the
that.
premise was
Yeah.
well, the premise was
Uh huh.
was that Russell Westbrook is one of the better players in the league at least over the course of 2010 to 2020.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Walking triple double. All the accolades, all pro, and all the accolades, and these guys haven't achieved anything to be teasing him to the level to which they were teasing him in that game. He Russell Westbrook even went, I guess, in the presser talking about those dudes ain't never done nothing. So it's kind of like how you coming at me? Y'all
Which
ain't
is
never
true.
done nothing.
Which is true.
Which
Yeah.
is true. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is kind of different from the. I thought about the Skip Bayless Westbrook thing,
Yeah.
and it's like where it differs is now I'm in your face while you playing bad as your opposition
Mm-hmm.
going in. Yeah, I'm going in.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah.
You don't like it, play better. You don't
And
like it, play better.
and it's entertainment. It's
Yeah.
entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like that was funny. What Carl Anthony Towns did. Like that was
Yeah.
funny. Patrick Beverly, playing defense on these great scorers, and
And historically, they got an issue on the court.
yeah, I know, I know, but
Yeah.
and with the Patrick Beverly thing, yeah, and him just getting in your face and patting you on the ass and all this stuff, and he did that to Luca the other night too, where he was just sticking Luca, and Luca just was like, damn, like what I got to do to get by this dude, so yeah,
Yeah, but we know that can go different because when Luca really want to get in Patrick Beverly's shit, we
I
seen
know.
what happened.
I know,
Yeah, so
I know.
yeah, this ain't the
Trust me.
same conversation. Yeah, this ain't the
Trust
same
me.
conversation. Yeah, man, I'm agreeing with you. I just didn't like some of the conversations I heard about Patrick Beverly and Carl Anthony Towns don't have the right to make fun of him on the court when they getting in the Lakers' ass right on that game, and Westbrook is playing the way he's playing in that game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, nah, and I think
Yeah.
Stephen A. was against it also, and for me, it's like, for what? Like, you playing the Lakers, you playing a team you're
Yeah.
competing with for playoff positioning. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, and
Yeah,
it's cool entertainment.
and it's up. Yeah, definitely.
So I'm good with it.
I got one last thing. I don't know how many you got,
Well,
and we might.
I just wanna get into just a little bit of tournament stuff, and I don't know if you've
Okay.
paid attention to some of the stuff.
I've been trying to keep up, but I've been I've been working.
Yeah. So my bracket is still intact. So I think one of the highlights for me this weekend was the Baylor North Carolina game,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard a lot of talk. I didn't watch the game, but I did hear that the refs were just basically letting Baylor dig into North Carolina from a physical standpoint and just kind of letting them play it out. UNC, they blew a 25-point lead because they was up by like I said, 25 points. That was the
Yeah.
highest they were up, and then Baylor was storming back to actually tie it and take the game into overtime. And it's crazy because in the midst of everyone complaining about the refs on Twitter and complaining about the coaching of Hubert Davis, I would have got the impression that Baylor won the game, came back from 25 down and beat them in overtime.
Yeah. Right.
But looking at the box score, UNC held on to get past Baylor, who was the number one seed and who was the defending champs from last year.
Champs.
Right.
Right.
So, and by the way, I did have them in my Final Four. I didn't have them winning the whole thing, but I had them getting there. So
You had Baylor. You had Baylor.
I had Baylor getting to the Final Four, but not necessarily
Okay.
winning the whole thing. So
Gotcha.
that's why my bracket is still intact. And my other three picks for the Final Four: Duke, Villanova, and I got Providence as a sleeper because they've quietly have had a good year. And I think that coach for them, I forget the coach's name. He's a black dude. Doing a great job with Providence. So that's my sleeper there. And I got Villanova winning the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. No love for Coach K, huh?
I got Coach K in the final against Villanova,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I don't got him winning it.
Gotcha.
I don't got him winning
Gotcha.
it. That's for certain.
Gotcha.
Let him walk
Um.
off with an L. I'm fine with
Well,
that.
I definitely got to shout out. Is it Saint Peter? Saint Peter's.
St. Peter's.
Yes.
Yep.
So so they
Jersey
had a
City.
run. They had a run. Shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they beat Murray. They ended up getting Murray State about it there too, right?
Yep, they did. They
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
In the second
yeah.
round, they did. Yep.
Yeah. So they definitely had a good run going on. So I definitely want to shout them out. Cause that's the team I noticed of all the what
Right.
was going on.
Yeah.
So definitely shout out to
Shaheen.
Saint Peter.
What's the coach's name? Shaheen.
I don't know his
I forget
name.
his last name.
I keep seeing people trying to pronounce it. I don't try.
Yeah. Well, I could pronounce his first name.
But shout
I
out
just
to
forgot
him.
I forgot his last name, but he used
Yeah.
to play for Seton Hall back in the day, and
Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of how I know him. He played for Seton Hall, and like I said, St. Peter's is in Jersey City, which I just learned about when they got into the tournament. I didn't know where they
Yeah.
were, so
Yeah.
shout
Yeah.
out to that school, and it's crazy because I have access to some of the channels in New York City, and one night I'm watching some programming, and the 11 o'clock news comes on. The New York CBS New York 11 o'clock news comes on, and the first story out the break is St. Peter's upsetting in the first round. And I'm
Right.
like, wow. And I'm like, wow, like that's big for a place like New York City to give that school like the top story of the night.
Story. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And
So,
it was probably fresh that they played later on, so
right,
probably was fresh
exactly.
too. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out
So,
to them.
yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
My last thing.
Mhm.
I got a huge problem. Well, not a huge problem. Did you see the video of Nurkic
Yes.
confronting a fan?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean I have a huge problem. Meaning, what I mean is I wish I had $40,000 or something to contribute to his fine, because these fans,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's been magnified. I don't know if they were all if fans were always like this or if it's just uh they turning up in recent years. I don't know what this is,
Yeah.
but the fan's name is Steven
I
Geske
didn't
or
even know the dude
whatever.
name.
No, I wasn't looking for it because his name needs to be highlighted when you do fuck shit like what he
But what he
did.
said.
Um,
What he
what
said,
he
more
said.
importantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean specifically I mean what he said, but
Yeah.
I'm saying what he
Right.
did.
Mm-hmm.
But um, uh, in short, the Bama told the dude his mother is trash and called his grandmother a bitch. And I don't know.
Who passed
Nurkic
away,
was
by the way. That's important.
passed away,
Yep.
and rest in peace to the grandmother,
Yep.
who died of COVID complications.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
Nurkic was in street clothes.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah, he's
wasn't
out
even
for the
playing the
season.
game.
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing. What I don't know who I saw that Geske was all I saw that caught my eye when I scrolled Twitter looking at his profile was that he was some type of a barstool athlete. I don't know if they talking about if he's referring to barstool sports.
Right.
I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't bother to dig into it that deep.
Yeah.
But man, I wanna praise Nurkic because that would have been the end of my career right there.
I was gonna say, bro. Like,
I would have threw way more than his cell phone.
knowing what I know now, yeah.
I'd have,
If he'd a snuff dude right there, I would have had no issue
he'd
whatsoever.
been put to fucking sleep. If I'm Nurkic walking around minding my business, not even like it's one thing, and let's be clear, those comments are not acceptable in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Let me be clear on
Facts.
that. But it's one
Facts.
thing if he playing in the game and you try and get in his head and you talking trash to him, woo woo woo. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable. But that's one thing. It's a whole nother thing for me to just be walking around minding my business and you think I'm the nigga to call on and start insulting me, talking about my mother and my grandmother. You don't know my grandmother know me. I knock your bitch ass out.
Mm-hmm.
And that type of like there's got to be something harsher that happens to fans. I get people get banned from stadiums and something, but there's got to be something because clearly not
Nah.
enough
I want to see
not
a
enough
fan
of
get
these
knocked
fans.
out. I want to see a fan
Yeah,
who's talking that talk get
because
knocked
they got to
out.
get put back because fans of that nature, they got to get put back in their pocket because
Mm-hmm.
they tripping.
Yeah.
They
Straight up.
tripping. Like, yeah,
Straight
it's
up.
some shit. It's some shit that we just not gonna go for.
You
Like
get the
that's just
you
not
get the
okay.
courtside seat. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably gifted you the ticket or something. You know,
Or
you
you paid
get
for it. I don't care.
sure, but you know, I'm just making a point here that
Sure.
you're sitting courtside. You're sipping on the most expensive drinks. You get all this VIP access to certain things, and you think just because you got this seat, it's a privilege to sit in this seat that you can say or do whatever you want to these players, and that's not the case. It's not the
That's not
case.
the case.
And if this was bad boy Pistons era, or even if this was the '90s or the '80s, homie would have been knocked out.
Man, man, I don't. That's the that was a little disturbing for me, man. Like,
Yeah,
bruh, who
talking
the
about
fuck do
people's
you think you
family,
are?
like
Who the fuck do you think you are? So and I get it. These fucking fans really think that a player won't put their hands on them because of their job or
right, because they got
money
everything to
and
lose and
yeah
all that stuff.
right.
Yeah,
I just wish there was somebody who would just risk it all. I don't
you know
somebody
what needs to happen.
somebody.
You know what needs to happen, and
You
it
said
kind
it.
of
Somebody to get punched in their fucking face.
that, but it reminds me of so I remember a playoff series between the Pacers and the Heat. This was LeBron and Wade's Heat some years ago when they were going up against the Pacers in the second round, I believe. This is when it was Paul George, Hibbert, David Weston, those
Hmm.
guys. And I remember it was Lance Stevenson did something to somebody on the Heat. I don't remember exactly what it was. But the Heat later in the game subbed in a dude off the bench just to give Lance Stevenson the
Give him a
elbow.
good fight.
And, homie sat right back on the bench. Like that was his
Right.
purpose, to come on the court, give
Right.
Lance the elbow, and then sit his butt right back down, right?
Right.
Something like that needs to happen when it comes to fans who think they could talk about your family, they could talk about players' families in the way that dude
Or they could
did.
just be disrespectful in a matter that would get you hands put on you in any other situation. Right. See, the situation for me is that those fans realize that I can do disrespectful things and not get hands put on me.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they can get they drinking, they doing whatever they doing, and they get drunk enough and think like the audacity of you like to sit there like these players are just fucking puppets.
Got to get a goon to do the dirty work.
Show. Yeah, we need. Yeah, I'm.
That was my point. That was my point.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I got what you were saying. Mm-hmm. But for me, cause I'm sorry, if I'm Nurkic,
mm-hmm.
Nah, let me do it. Mm-hmm. I need cause
I respect that too.
You need my anger. You need my anger on your motherfucking chin. You need my anger on your motherfucking lip as it bust open with blood. Like who, bitch? Who you talk like? I
respect
Steve
that too.
You a sucker for that shit. If ain't nobody told you, I heard he made his Instagram account private after he started getting shade on his account. Yeah, you's a bitch.
And how ironic, because that was against the Pacers, right?
Yes.
How ironic that in that same arena some months ago, they got a couple of fans. There was a white lady and a white guy that was heckling LeBron, and it was the same two people that said something about LeBron. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but they said something derogatory to him, and LeBron got their asses up out of there and banned from any Pacers games in the future. So how ironic that it's happening in that.
Yeah, somebody need to get punched in their face, though. Somebody need to get punched in their face.
Yeah.
Somebody need to get punched in their face.
Yeah, that's sick. Shout out to all of our fans. Shout out to all the listeners and people watching on Facebook Live. Appreciate the support every week. Don't forget, folks, just check us out on Facebook Live. Make sure y'all click on the like button. Also, you can follow us on our YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, and also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And if you got any questions, comments about the show, you can hit us up at barbershopsportstalk1 at gmail.com. So, Maestro, it's been real. We're going to do this another week. Shout out to everybody out there listening again. We appreciate it. Y'all enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Love.
Recording stopped.